just finally getting around to recording it. So I'll get you guys up to speed on this because it's pretty simple, but one day at work, since we often choose paint colors, I was going through one of these Vandex, and I was like, you know what? I like the sounds. They're really nice. And it's got a very neat visual component that I like. And tangentially, I've been meaning to pick out a color that's much more interesting than all of the beige on the walls here. So, kind of a two birds, one stone situation. And to get things started off, I'm sure you guys have seen something like this before. Just one of these Vandex, and they have a bunch of paint colors on them. And, you know, working in interior design, we sort of lay out a palette of materials and everything, and that way we sort of have the full picture. Maybe I'll do a video like that at some point. I think there's a huge sort of tactile trigger, especially for me, like picking up tile, stone, that sort of thing. But this is a Benjamin Moore Classics Vandeck. But what I was going to say earlier is, let me know if there's other videos that you'd like to see updates to. I know it's been a while since I made like a hand sounds video or one with the wooden blocks. I do actually still need to find those, but I did finally find the microphones that I normally use, which I've been looking for now for like 2 weeks. Anyway, let's get into some sounds. Now, I'm trying to sort of line up what I'd say the apartment right now is sort of that color. Well, acting like it's not visible behind me for some reason, but we're sort of there. Now, that being said, you can see we have many different options. Let me see if I can get that cover out of the way. I'm sure you guys are not surprised at all that I'd gravitate towards the blue. And let's see. That's not a bad match, but I'm sure I could get closer. I really like that soft light blue. Feels very calm to me, but let's see what other options we have. And I'm sure the train will show up in the background, but not much I can do about that. So, one of the things that always has fascinated me is how they pick the names for paint colors. Like, one of them here is called Fallen Timber, which seems kind of obvious, but there's other ones like Blue Dragon, and Crisp Romaine. and blues. Blue Rapids. Actually, there's some really good ones here. I was looking at this a little bit before, but I didn't read the colors. While I was in school, I did also have an idea with one of my friends that we would, well, not for real, we said it in kind of a tongue-in-cheek way, we'd start a service where if you were a paint manufacturer or something like that, you could call us up and be like, we're having a very hard time naming our colors. Could you help us out with something catchy and interesting? I only remember one of them. It was called Sunset at Midnight. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but they all had sort of amorphous names. And it was just very amusing. The color would be black, by the way, because, you know, midnight, it's just black, even if there's a sunset, which, looking back on it, didn't really make much sense, but I thought it was funny. This is Blue Dragon, by the way. Soft Jazz. Sapphire Ice. Soft Sky. Breath of Fresh Air. Oh, here we go. New York State of Mind. I don't know. Does that say New York State of Mind to you? Oh, here's the paint color for yesterday. Lazy Sunday. Not bad. Palatial Skies. I think I need to go through this band deck a little bit more closely because I'm missing out on some really good names. Spring Rain, Dolphins Cove, Hemlock, 30, and they're all different manufacturers, all different series, all different colors, all different finishes. And every time we look through them, we're always like agonizing over the right paint color to pick. It's just, I don't know, you always want everything to be as good as possible, but it's just sort of amusing looking back on it. Because there's been projects that will look for hours for something. And I'm thinking of one in particular that has been, well, now it is well into construction, but I've been working on a project at our office for a while, just a lake house upstate. And I don't really know where I was going with this, but we used a lot of these colors in the kitchen, in the living room, the dining room. And like I was saying earlier, it's so helpful to just be able to hold up a paint color to like the wood we're using, to the fabric samples for the furniture that we're using. That way everything is, well, thoughtful, but you're incorporating things from the same palette basically. I quite like that sound as well. So personally, I am gravitating towards something like this. I'm sure that's going to come as no surprise, although this one is quite nice too. sounds. And if you're trying to fall asleep, I typically say close your eyes and let these sounds just wash over you. I think half the deck is easier to manage at one time. Let's see, what's this deep sea green? Oh, that is deep. Too much green, perhaps. You know, what's funny is the more I look at this, the more unsure I am about what the right color is. Like, before I recorded this video, I was just sort of going through it, and I felt so sure about the color that I thought I wanted, but I'm not sure where it will all end up, at least at the moment, but we can enjoy the sounds together. And one of the strongest triggers, at least for me, is an object you can hear moving around. Just throughout the space. I remember on YouTube, one of the first, I think it's called like 3D spatial videos, like a video that's just basically recorded with multiple microphones, and it triggers that sort of Doppler effect. Isn't the Doppler effect, but like basically where you can hear direction. And I forget the video. Well, I don't forget the video. I forget what the video was titled. The video itself was a haircut, and the guy talking was extremely like Italian. Offensively Italian, I'd even go as far to say. And I think he was talking to some guy named Luigi, and he was just like sort of going from here to around here, and like just making circles around you, giving you a haircut, and just sort of making casual conversation. It's been a long time since I've seen that one, but I'm sure some of you know the one that I'm talking about. And I'm curious to know which one it was. So I'll have to look into that a little bit later. But this is the blues, the greens, and a couple colors in between. I don't really know the logic that they assemble these things with, because if I were doing it, I'd go from like a light version of blue, let's say, to dark blue, and then to light green, to dark green, but this seems to be a little bit all over the place. I guess they just sort of go through their catalog and somehow determine what the classics are. Now this is interesting. alphabetical order. So would somebody, for example, know that they're looking for Athens Blue? And, oh, this is interesting. So it goes by color name, number, and LRV, which I'm assuming is light reflectance value. Kind of helpful, but, oh, I see. Each one has the LRV on the back, too. I don't really know what that's used for. Maybe more of like a lighting design, but I also like the sound where you can hear the air moving. Of course, I can only go too close to the microphone so it starts to get super unpleasant. I see one now called Temporal Spirit. Oh my goodness, Maritime White Gray Mist. Natural Wicker. I don't know why I'm so drawn to these color names. Let's see, this one is Sleeping Angel. Oh, this is Snow Angel. A lot of angels here tonight. I don't know from a color standpoint how you represent two different kinds of angels, but that's just part of the fun of paint colors. And I really would, as much as I am joking about it, I really would like to ask someone who names paint colors, like, just kind of what is going on. Like, do you think long and hard about each color? Is it the way that I think it is, where you make a new color, you take a look at it, and it's like the first thing that pops into your head? Like, one of them was called Apparition. White Zinfalda. White Zinfidel. What? Paint color number 880. Does this look like a white Zinfidel to you? I don't know what a Zinfidel looks like, no less a white one. But I'd love some clarity on that. The way that I picture it is just, it's a guy who just sits down every day, like in a lab, and he's brought new colors, and like he's been working there for like 40 years, just on the verge of retirement. And like, when he was young, I don't know why I'm getting so into this, but when he was young, like, he played it safe, didn't want to rock the boat too much, and now that he's like close to retirement, he's coming up with some truly creative names. So like Buttermilk, for example, would have been early in the career. And he's sort of on the back end of his career. It's not a really good example. He's coming up with things like Feathered Violet. Probably just like, what are they gonna do? Fire me. Meadow Mist. Featherbed. I'm sure I'm way off though. It's probably a group of people, and they just sit down and are like, what does this look like? I don't know, I find that I think about these sorts of things. Let's see. Let me see if I can get everything on the screen here and just give you guys at least a quick look at everything. Because there's definitely several hundred colors here. This is why I didn't go through everything one by one too. It's just too hard. As everything's around me while I'm recording. I just don't want to bump anything. But while I'm scrolling past them, this one here and this one here, these are the two angel colors. So this is Snow Angel in my left hand here, and then Sleeping Angel in my right. And Sleeping Angel is definitely more green than Snow Angel, which I guess makes sense. Snow Angel is definitely going to be more white. It's snow, obviously, but I don't know what the color of sleep is. I do often find myself lying awake at night, so maybe I should really investigate what the color of sleep is. I don't even know what a Collingwood is. But that doesn't really look bad. Wood colored to me. Here's Apparition, number 860. I think we've hit upon most of the fairly outrageous names. Although this one's called Honey Harbor that I haven't seen before. Yeah, that's a honey color. Sort of on the nose there. So, I think we'll make a couple more sounds as we start to bring the video to a close, but myself on the spot, of course, I'm blanking. I can't think of anything right now, unfortunately. I did just see another color flicking through this that was called Brandon Beige. That sort of tracks out every Brandon that I've known has been a little beige.